What's up everyone, Zach here from the It's Not a Phase podcast, and I'm bringing you something a little bit different today from my usual interview-based content. In case you missed it, Slam Dunk Festival have just announced that they'll be making a 2025 lineup announcement in the next few days. So I thought it'd be pretty fun just to kind of discuss predictions of who might make the cut. So yes, these are all predictions. I have no idea definitively who will definitely be on the lineup, but yeah, if some of these aren't on there, then I'd be very surprised. Before we get into all of that though, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and follow on social media. There's a Patreon and a web store too if you did want to go one step further, and you can find the links to everything that I've just mentioned in the description box. Now, let's get into it. So I've broken down my predictions into 4 categories: headliners, special sets, tried and tested, and newbies. Starting with headliners, I think the most obvious choice here is Neck Deep. They put out a new album recently, they've announced a headline UK tour for January, which is strangely missing a London date, and apparently at Reading and Leeds Festival, where they were playing some sets a few days ago, apparently some of their team were handing out Slam Dunk stickers, which, you know, all signs point to them at least playing there. Another less likely, though great choice for a headliner in my opinion, would be Jimmy Eat World. They've got plenty of classics under their belts, and they've also been working on a new album, which I imagine will be out by the time Slam Dunk happens. Next up are special sets, and to me, it would be silly not to have As It Is there, considering they've all but officially confirmed that they're now back. There's been some activity on their website and their socials strongly hinting at their return. Guitarist Ben has shoved the band back in his social bios, and both he and vocalist Patty were spotted at the Heavy Music Awards with a photo and this caption. Now, what does that remind me of? This one is probably way more personal wish list than a credible prediction, but Slam Dunk, if you're watching this, get Fight Star on there. If you can get a busted secret set, then surely a Fight Star one isn't impossible. Come on Slam Dunk, it's time. New Found Glory have been doing a Catalyst anniversary tour over in the US, so it'd be great to have that in some shape or form over here, and what a better place than Slam Dunk. And, in case you missed it, Tonight Alive are back, and so they definitely deserve to be there too. Moving on to Tried and Tested, these are bands that have all played the festival at least once before, so it would be more than fitting to bring them back. Kids in Glass Houses played a reunion set back in 2023, which went down really well, and they've got a new album on the way too, so why not bring them back? Boston Manor, Real Friends and Cane Hill all have albums coming out soon, and along with that, 4 Years Strong, Yours Truly and Stand Atlantic not long ago put out new albums themselves, so what better reason to get a band on there than to play some new tunes. Other potentials are Sleeping with Sirens, Loathe, Vukovi and Under Oath, who are all either sitting on albums or have albums just getting ready to be finished up. Broadside were there in 2018, so it'd be great to have them back, and it's strange that Pierce the Veil haven't been there since 2013, so I mean there's a chance to close that 12-year gap. And that leads us on to the final category, First Timers. As you probably guessed, these are all bands and artists, some of which are pretty well established, that have never, at least to my knowledge, played at Slam Dunk Festival before. First, there's Acres, who are a post-hardcore band from the UK. They've put out 2 great albums so far, and they'll be working on their 3rd album later this year. If you haven't heard them yet, they're definitely worth keeping an eye on. Now, somehow, both AFI and August Burns Red have never played Slam Dunk Festival before. With the past few albums that AFI have put out, there's usually a 4-year gap in between each one, which would make 2025 the year for a new AFI album if they continued that trend. And August Burns Red are currently working on a re-recording of their debut album, Thrill Seeker, to celebrate its 20th anniversary. So they could always celebrate it with a set at Slam Dunk. Whilst we're on the subject of established bands, last month From First to Last put out their first single in 7 years, and apparently there's still more new music to come. Another scene darling is Seosin, who've recently been doing some special shows over in the US, and apparently are also working on a new album. They've also got a planned set at this year's When We Were Young festival in Las Vegas, where they're playing the self-titled album in full. So, let's get them here at Slam Dunk. Dying Wish would make a great addition to the heavier side of the festival's lineup, and Fame on Fire have been leaning into the heavier side with their latest material too. In fact, Fame on Fire have never been to the UK before, so a stop at Slam Dunk, their first time over here, seems ideal. Nothing Nowhere has been spending 2024 taking time off the road to focus on putting out new music. His plan is to put out 4 albums in the space of the year. He's put out 2 so far, the 3rd one's done, and so it'd be great to kind of see those new songs showcased live at Slam Dunk next year. The home team have been making waves in the scene over the past few years, and have just put out a great new album called The Crucible of Life. They're the kind of band that will go down really well at Slam Dunk Festival. There's also Fever 333, who have their second album coming out soon, and they always put on an explosive live show, so they'd be a great addition to the lineup. Whilst we're mentioning Fever, former members Eric and Steve have a new band called House of Protection, and just with the few songs that they've put out so far, they're making quite the impression on the scene. I'd personally love to see them on the lineup next year. And for my final prediction, Mouth Culture definitely deserve to be on the lineup. They've been making all the right moves recently, they keep putting out great singles, and if you've got a void in your life where You Me at 6 used to be now that they've decided to break up, these guys will definitely fill that for you. And that's it. Those are my predictions of bands that I think will be on the lineup for next year's Slam Dunk Festival. What do you think? Would you love to see some of those bands on the lineup? Would you hate to see some of those bands on the lineup? Are there some bands that are pretty obvious that I've missed? Let me know in the YouTube comments or over on social media. Thanks for tuning in. Again, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and follow on social media. The links to everything that I've just mentioned are in the description box, or you can head to itsnotaphase.co.uk. Thanks again. Hopefully I'll catch you on the next one, and remember, it's not a phase, it's a lifestyle.